challenging Manchester City, but in today's evidence would be a step back from that. So these are massive games for them, not so much for this season, but for the seasons beyond. They have to lay down exactly how they want to play, so they don't veer from that, and that's why second half they've got to turn it around.
OK, let's see if they can do so. Jim and Peter.
Well, only Southampton have lost more points from winning positions this season in the Premier League than Brighton have. Southampton, who, funny enough, came from 2 behind to win today, have dropped 18 points from positions of advantage. Brighton have dropped 17, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to be determined on behalf of his players that they're going to drop more here, because otherwise Manchester United will be passing up a heaven-sent opportunity to capitalise on spillages this weekend by Leicester and Chelsea, their immediate competitors for places in the top 4. The way things stand right now, Spurs also having dropped points. What a weekend this is developing into for Liverpool. Manchester United will need to alter that. Here's Rashford. That's a very good challenge from White. Wan-Bissaka. Lindelof. Fred. Zuma. Veltman. Shaw. Rashford. Shaw. Face to face with White. Whips in towards Cavani. Calmly dealt with by Lewis Dunk. And away by Gross. Chased by Mopé and dealt with by Lindelof. So, Jim, never mind Manchester United's deficiencies. What did Brighton do well in the first half that they need to continue doing now?
Well, I think they've always been fairly stable defensively, and I think they showed that. They're extremely well organised. I think I mentioned it early on that the front three were getting back a little deeper as they needed to as the half progressed. But I think in going forward as well, Brighton are a different proposition now, because I think they've smartened their act up. The likes of Trossard, Mopé, who were sloppy earlier in the season, are much better. Look at this, the way they're able to keep the ball. There's a composure, Peter, and a courage about what Brighton take now to any opposition.
And there really is a sense of puzzlement around those who regularly watch the English Premier League that Brighton have as few points as they do have. I'm certainly not the first to have made that observation. I suppose every year around the bottom 6-7 there's always that team that gets labelled the one too good to go down. This year it is Brighton, and the evidence of our eyes here is that they surely are just that. But they've got a big 3/4 of an hour ahead of them now.
Yeah, and for much of the season their problem was scoring goals. As things stand, 6 in the last 3, that's a lot healthier.
Pogba. They are Manchester United's problem now. Fernandes. Shaw, seen by Gross. Mopé was willing, Maguire was stronger. Shaw was tidy of foot. Fernandes. Pogba. Driven in low by Pogba, lifted out high by Dunk. Down again by Fred. Shaw. Lindelof. Pogba. Bitten away from him by Welbeck, who can get up ahead of steam here. He's got Modder one way, Mopé the other. Advancing fast here is Gross.
I think you'll notice as well that there isn't a desperation for Brighton to actually have to find the telling pass when they do get a chance to break forward. They're quite prepared to just recycle it, go backwards if they have to, and start again and see what they can muster.
Before today, Brighton in league football on this ground in 7 previous visits had only scored 4 goals. Stunk got one of those last season. Pascal Gross another the season before. Andy Ritchie, who was also, if memory serves, once a Manchester United player as well as Leeds, scored one in January of 1981. And Manchester United won by goals from Gordon McQueen and Lou Macari, 2 great Scots. And the only other Brighton league goal on this ground was scored when they took their only point in March of 1983. Arthur Elberston had given United a lead, and Brighton got their equaliser, scored by Steve Gatting, who is the brother of the former England cricket captain Mike Gatting. And that was 2 months before the teams famously met in the cup final. Yeah. Smith must score and all that.
Yeah. And the big United win in the replay.
Yes, 4-0. The big issue was Brighton played the first game, didn't they, without their talismanic centre-half Steve Foster, who was suspended. And they did very well. Poor old Steve Foster came back in for the second game and they were well beaten. He's very much loved in Brighton. Used to wear a headband. Rashford. All our yesterdays. Fred. Pogba. Maguire. Rashford, that's a tidy turn. Marcus Rashford! It's a dipping shot, which Sanchez had to watch warily.
Yeah, and he knew he had time to steady himself and just make sure he got the strike right. You know, the problem for Marcus Rashford, once he did find the space, was knocking it straight down the middle, where the keeper was just waiting to gobble it up.
Was Manchester United's first shot on target. Hit the post in the first half, of course. Mason Greenwood. If they consider themselves unlucky in that regard, well, don't forget, Brighton hit United's post and bar 5 times at the Amex in September. A Premier League record. Lindelof. Maguire. Has hit the wrong fairway. There have been 1 or 2 of those in United's performance over the course of these 50-plus minutes. A bit grey-faced. Big European week ahead. They go to Granada in Spain. In the quarter-finals of the Europa League. Granada lost 3-0 at home to Villarreal yesterday. Gerard Moreno with a hat-trick. Team that does include 2 or 3 with a bit of Premier League experience. Roberto Soldado, once of Tottenham, leads the line. Kennedy, Chelsea, Newcastle fans might remember him. He's in the Granada team as well, but United would be favourites to win that tie.
Well, I think he's got to start being a little more adventurous himself, Paul Pogba, instead of just staying deep and just looking to thread 1 or 2 like he found Wan-Bissaka before half-time. He's got to get himself up the pitch and start dictating more in an advanced position.
Almighty Platt played 4, lost 4 against Manchester United prior to this as a manager, Graham Potter. Behind on aggregate by 12 goals to 3. Rashford.
Yeah, same result. The last time he tried that, between Gross and Lallana, he found White, and White was there to greet him again.
Shaw's outswinger, Maguire's header flicked in by Lindelof.
I think it's gone against Pogba. Dunk was trying to head it, and I think Pogba was trying to shape himself to go for a bicycle kick of something like that technically. Yeah, that was it. And dangerous. He didn't follow through on it, thankfully, and catch Dunk, but high boot.
Rashford, Fernandes, Bissouma biting in. I sense the Brighton do have their teeth in this. Not necessarily, of course, concerned with the longer-term history, but the immediate-term future. These 3 points, never mind where they came, will make a massive difference to their mood, their dynamic. Would take them probably to within just one further win of absolute safety. Actually, the last 4 years, 35 points have been enough to stay up.
Yeah, well, I think at the moment, Graham Potter's concern would be the fact that they're just happy to defend what they've got at the moment. I think he'd still like to see some composure on the ball and for Brighton to be able to take it into the United half.
Lindelof. Fernandes juggling and getting a corner.
Well, he's done well there to actually keep that alive.
Corner which he himself will take. Fernandes to the near post, away from there by Bissouma. Wide again from Shaw. Fernandes out by Welbeck. Shaw. Sanchez has come and claimed.
Yeah, and again you could hear the shout on the effects mics. Nice and early, so everybody kept out of his way. But the two deliveries from the corner and then from the cross from Fernandes were too low, weren't good enough.
Bissouma striding. And Bissaka striding in. Greenwood. Pogba. Fernandes. And Bissaka. Out by Veltman.
Yeah, the supply's got to improve, Peter, because there isn't enough quality coming from either flank now from United.
Defending with their lives. Not least because, given their precarious position, it's a nasty fixture list ahead of them between now and the end of the season. They've still got Everton and Chelsea, Leeds, Wolves, West Ham, Manchester City and Arsenal to play. No such thing as a Premier League gimme, but by any standard, it's a pretty stiff run in for Brighton. To garner these points now, to cushion against those considerable challenges to come, wouldn't half be handy.
Massive stress relief.
Shaw. Mopé. Intercepted by Lindelof. On the subject of stress, of course, if United lose this or even drop points here, that'll crank up the pressure around next week's trip to Tottenham. We want to keep knocking on the top four door. And here is Bruno Fernandes. Out comes Sanchez and makes sure to play the ball. And Veltman sticks it behind.
Paul Pogba at his best. What a lovely little release forward from Pogba. Knowing that the run was going to be made, he didn't even need to take a touch. He just could play it first time, and Fernandes is in very quickly. Well done, the goalkeeper. He was brave in throwing himself into that.
Well, United are looking to do to Brighton what Brighton were doing to them in the first half at the Stretford end. This is going to be a Luke Shaw in-swinger. Met by Dunk. Pogba. Unchallenged gather for Robert Sanchez. Bissouma.
He's got a very confident, assured look about him, doesn't he, Bissouma? He's always happy to want the ball and bail somebody out. And if he can, you know, he's always looking for the positive next pass.
This has fallen for Fernandes. He's moved it on for Rashford, who slides Manchester United level. That was immaculately done at a time when Manchester United were thirsting for such a moment.
Yeah, Fernandes is still moaning because he felt he deserved to see a free kick from that, or even a penalty. Now it was outside the box, so it would have been a free kick, but it was Veltman who gave the ball away, and then he went chasing it, and he makes the tackle on Fernandes, but by then it's released to Rashford, and classic from Rashford, opened his body up to find the corner, and it's a lovely finish to level things. And based on what we've seen since the second half began, Peter, I think Manchester United deserve that, because it's pretty much been all of them.
Well, Marcus Rashford scored the third of Manchester United's 3 goals against Brighton here last season. He scored a brilliant individual goal at Brighton in September, and he haunts them again now as the Seagulls make a change, withdrawing Leandro Trossard and replacing him with the Argentine Alexis McAllister. Forward by Greenwood, aimed at Cavani, flicked on towards Rashford. Brighton supporters will be looking to the heavens again now, rolling eyes, aware of their propensity for spilling points from positions of advantage, and fretting now over the last 25 minutes, half an hour here.
Well, what was it you said? 17 points from winning positions, yeah. At the start of the second half, yeah, that they will be thinking that. They'll be fretting again now, thinking, oh, this is going to be another one that gets away.
And in the aftermath of the goal, by the way, Edinson Cavani was shown a yellow card. Pogba. Wan-Bissaka, Greenwood just snatched at it instinctively.
Yeah, but Manchester United are now making inroads, whereas, you know, they've not been able to say that throughout the game. And Wan-Bissaka's I think, been told at half-time to get on his bike and start getting into those positions more.
White.
Just wondering, Peter, whether Cavani got booked for saying something to the referee after Veltman's tackle.
Dissent in the aftermath of that, unnecessary dissent, given that Manchester United want to score a goal.
Well, that's what I mean. Fernandes was still complaining about the fact that he was fouled. Maybe he was the one as well saying it has to be a yellow card for Veltman, but he escaped.
White is reluctant to give the ball back to Fernandes for United's throw. I think White was booked for clinging onto the ball. Rashford. His 10th Premier League goal of the season, his 19th in all competitions. Fernandes. It's off again by the elegant White. Taken up for the first time by McAllister, who went crashing into Fred.
Yeah, and now it's Manchester United with bite.
Certainly looking a different proposition with Greenwood. Pogba and Bissaka. Fernandes. Wan-Bissaka. Awkward one for Pascal Gross. Bartman stabbed it out and was caught after playing the ball. He had been 6 games, 4 Premier League games without a goal, Marcus Rashford.
Yeah, just watch Veltman here. That touch ahead of Cavani, and now he's trying to make up the ground, and he throws himself in to Fernandes. As I say, it's just the perfect timing in terms of the release, and this fella is very good in those positions. Classic Marcus Rashford. And Cavani had a moan too many to the referee.
Rashford, of course, was substituted at half-time in Milan in United's last European game. He didn't play in the FA Cup against Leicester. He couldn't play for England over the course of the last fortnight, but he returns to the Premier League with a smoothly taken goal at the expense of Graham Potter. And here's Welbeck. Taken away by Maguire from in front of McAllister.
It's a good tackle from Ben White, who has to be careful with the yellow card.
Wan-Bissaka, Pogba, Wan-Bissaka, Greenwood, hoisted in by Greenwood, out by Bissouma. Fernandes set it for Fred, deflection, lifts it onto the roof and behind.
Yeah, and the goalkeeper momentarily was worried as to whether that was going to dip in time and just creep below the crossbar. It didn't quite manage that, but yeah, he'd made his mind up to hit it, and McAllister was the one who got the deflection.
So Shaw to load it in again. Another noisy claim from Sanchez. White, good ball, McAllister. A lot of space ahead of Maupay here. Lindelof's had to go and engage with him. It's Maupay. Welbeck's gone over and is convinced he should have a penalty for that. Mike Dean will consult. Peter Banks is the video assistant referee.
It looked as if Maguire impeded Welbeck, and you know, he knew that there was a goal likely, and he just seems to have tried to clip his ankles once Maupay fed it across there. Okay, it looks as if he's leaning into him. Maybe it will be deemed accidental.
It is a matter for interpretation as much as for simply viewing the fact of the matter.
He catches him. He catches Welbeck.
Check complete. No penalty. And Mike Dean wasn't even invited to have a look himself.
No. Oh, well, again, I suggested it might be deemed accidental, and it's just an accidental coming together of feet, and that's the way they seem to have read it.
Here's Shaw. And Pogba. Straight away as far as Fernandes. Well, that is going to be worthy of more forensic investigation and some fairly heated debate. Greenwood. Fired in by Mason Greenwood and well fielded by Robert Sanchez. Especially in the context, if you recall, of the 99th minute at the Amex in September. Just see this Greenwood hit again when VAR, after a lengthy consultation, decided that Maupay's handling offence from Harry Maguire's header was worthy of a winning penalty for Manchester United. Different set of circumstances, of course, but Maguire was the beneficiary then.
Yeah, and they've just been involved once more.
Marcus Rashford, having scored his goal and perhaps a little shy of full 90-minute match fitness, gives way to Daniel James, who was the scorer of a very significant winning goal for Wales against the Czech Republic during the international break. Rashford is hobbling rather gingerly back in the direction of the tunnel.
He's got an ongoing foot injury, hasn't he, Peter?
Hoisted in by Gross. Head back by Maguire. Okay.
That's goal kick. Ricocheted back off Maupay.
He had a bittersweet day in that crazy 3-2 game to which we keep referring. He actually opened the scoring with cheeky Panenka penalty. Heading towards the last quarter of an hour here. It's become a chilly evening in Manchester. One of the gripping days Premier League football. It's on edge right to the end. Not a great start for Daniel James.
No, who I thought might go to the right side and allow Greenwood to swap to the left, but no, he's sticking to the Rashford side.
Van de Beek, McTominay, two midfield options for Manchester United. Ollie Solskjaer's had some nice things to say about Donny van de Beek this week in the context of an ongoing conversation about his lack of playing time and maybe his failure to break through in quite the way United fans hoped he might in his first year here. The United manager is convinced his time will come. Here is Pogba, away by Dunk. Saka, Greenwood.
Yeah, whereas Basuma was chasing Fernandes for much of the game, now it's Pogba.
It's Maguire. Saka. Lindelof. Welbeck's penned in. Veltman gets out. Lallana. Welbeck. Mopé. Now Greenwood facing forwards. Moving off one challenge before getting nicked by McAllister. Fred's hurriedly on with it. Fernandes. Lallana's still down. Fernandes! Sanchez spills. James goes in. And the ball lands on the roof of the net.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't fall properly for James, so the only thing he can do is poke it into Greenwood's path, but he's off balance too. And it ended up on the roof of the net. But it's good hit, and the fact that it bounced right in front of him made it difficult for Sanchez to hold on to it or to get it away either side. He was struggling.
It seemed as though he wasn't even attempting in the end to hold on to it. He sort of scooped it, spooned it out of his territory, didn't he, the goalkeeper?
Just happy to try and get it away somewhere, yeah.
Dunk is angry that the move was allowed to go that far at all.
But the solidity we saw in the first half from the visitors is not quite the same. They're looking more fragile now. Yeah, and Henderson's had the second half off pretty much, Peter. I mean, there's been that kind of incident before with Maguire and the appeal for a penalty, but they can't register.
Very different game in the second half. Good steal by Basuma. He's got Gross going wide of him. Steered away by Maguire.
It's not been his greatest night, Bruno Fernandes. He's been loose, but it happens sometimes when you're as creative as he is. They're not all going to come off.
And Baker's going to get a moment. Oh, in a moment today. Played an hour of the cup tie at Leicester before the international break. Brighton are preparing to send on the Colombian Steven Alzate on the stand in place of Adam Lallana. McAllister, Welbeck, Lallana, whose enthusiasm and busyness in the first half was such an infectious part of Brighton's excellent effort. Here's Welbeck and Gross.
there's confidence for you. That's how his season has been going. You know, he could easily have just tried to lay that back to Maguire, but no problem, took the responsibility.
Greenwood. Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes. Sanchez has come on this.
He actually just showed the clever footwork and just opened up that little bit of space. Bruno Fernandes, you're expecting it to go either side of the goal and not there.
Welbeck. Wan-Bissaka. Days.
James right side, Van der